you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are. Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. This is the podcast you've been waiting for. Hello, I'm Krystle, 1-3 Sacral Generator, Rising Capricorn, Sagittarius Sun, and Aries Moon.
And I'm Leah, 2-4 Splenic Projector, Aquarius Sun, Taurus Moon, and Libra Rising.
And welcome to the program. Sorry that our audio sounds not as great as usual. My mic decided not to work. So it's just kind of the theme of right now. Nothing's really working. I'm smiling, but I'm not smiling inside. If you probably noticed, if you've been listening to us for a while, we did not put out an episode this last week. And that's because I had a family health scare, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm not going to go into detail, but it has obviously put a pin in a lot of things, and a lot I'm not in a place of being able to provide the way I usually do, or like, especially when it comes to free stuff like this. We've loved doing it for the last couple of years, but I think that living your design, you're not going to push yourself to do things just because my mind keeps telling me, well, you've been doing this whole time, just go on and just do a different version or whatever. And I could not push myself to do that at all. I thank you for everyone that's been supportive that knows what's going on. And I've had to change some client sessions, change a lot of things. And I had to take, I think this has been a shock of reevaluating what I'm actually wanting to do, capable of doing, should do for myself and us. And I'm not quite sure where we're at with a lot of things, and some things might not be as consistent for a while because with this health scare comes not a lot of information yet. I don't know, I won't know information for potentially weeks about a family member that a very immediate family member, I will just say. So until all of that gets sorted out, and also it has given me, I don't even know what the right words are, a perspective on what is correct for me and us to be doing. And so who knows what exactly is going to shift and change, but we'll definitely keep you guys in the know about what that is. So anyways, hello, Leah. How are you?
I'm good. So I've said this a bunch of times, like, we're here for you, to support you, and sending tons of love. Like, that's all we can do is just, send prayers or love or support, whatever it is that you do. Just send that to Krystle and her family.
Yeah.
It's what you need right now.
Yeah. Obviously I feel like I'm literally like the epitome of this new moon right now. Like, I'm in my little crab shell if you're on YouTube, you can see that I have my hood up. I was like, should I do my hair? And I said, fuck that shit. I'm not doing my hair. Not that I really, I feel like for these program episodes, we literally look like we just rolled out of bed. Your hair is also sticking up in the back. I don't know if that's your ponytail or what, but your hair is sticking.
My messy bun. It's my very messy bun.
Yeah, it's okay. So we usually just come on here just like pretty rough, I guess, rough. very natural. Other episodes I feel like to be in, I don't know, more of my other split. I feel like this is part of my split is just like supernatural and like doesn't give a shit what I look like in appearance. And then the other side of me is like full glam.
Mhm.
Never know what you're gonna get, but usually the program is similar to this, but I usually like at least like brush my hair. Um, or like put it up or something. And I'm just like, no, just
Yeah.
the hoodie today because that's the energy of right now.
I've always just kind of been the natural,
You are.
like you taught me how to put makeup on. So like that's how long I've worn makeup is like about 2 years. So anytime I put it on, it's as minimal as I can be, but generally I'm super low maintenance.
I've gotten very also minimal with my makeup. Since the pandemic, I quoted it as the pandemic look. It's
Mhm.
just a very, excuse me, a very like monochromatic look. Sorry, I still have a little bit of a cough from my cold. It's like literally everything that could come at me has come at me
Oh, at the same time. Yeah.
all at the same time. To be completely honest, I don't know how much more I can handle. And part of the reason why I also like have been like a complete ghost on like social media. Like my Instagram, I haven't been on in probably over a week. Um, but I did sign up for Threads.
Or you did?
I did. I don't think you saw that I did because I
No,
don't.
because I'm not on it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody, but here I am now telling everybody that I am on Threads. A bunch of you have found me at this point because it like I think it I don't know exactly how Threads works. Like literally just signed up 2 days ago, but I think it notifies your Instagram audience that you're on.
That would make sense because they're connected, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised you didn't see that because usually I think because I thought I saw and maybe I didn't. Like I thought I saw like a notification for when people were signing up that like, oh, so and so signed up for Threads. But I'm also again, I'm not really paying attention to Instagram, so I don't know exactly how the connection works. And I just keep seeing like so and so followed you. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who that is. And I'm not like then it says I'm following people, but I didn't really so I think it's just through the connection of Instagram. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, I don't care. So Threads, I've decided is where I vent. I've already posted 3 things. Most people have not seen it because nobody knows I'm on there. And I feel good about that, but nobody knows. But now everybody will know. Well, whoever's watching this or listening will now know I'm on Threads. Um, but I think it's just going to be a place of venting through human design. I wrote some poetry on there, and I've thought about potentially doing brief like recaps or like synopses of the day. Like we are in a fifth line day and blah blah blah. Like because you can all it's literally just like Twitter.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah, it
it is.
is. Yeah.
And I was never on Twitter either, so I don't even know exactly how that works. But you can just like type stuff. You don't have to make any, I mean, you can also post graphics if you want. That seems you can only do, you can either post a graphic, you could just type whatever's on your mind and hit send, or you can also share other people's. That seems to be the only 3 things you can do. They're trying to figure out, they don't have a whole algorithm with it yet, which I'm like, please, I saw what's his face from Instagram saying that, like, oh, we're setting up the algorithm and where you can do followers and blah. And I'm just like, just don't do that. Like, can we just go back to like chronological order? Like, why
Yeah.
can't we just have that for Threads? Like, it's so simplified. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a great place to just like bring it back old school and
Yeah.
just like let it, whoever you're following, you get to see their shit. That's it. Like, you
Yeah.
scroll to the bottom. You know what I remember on Facebook from the very
Yeah.
beginning? you just whoever just posted, that's the top one in order. And then for the whole day, you can scroll through the bottom. And then when you get to the bottom, you get to the bottom. And that's it. I know that that's a little harder now with like, because people could be following like thousands of people. But so I don't know exactly how that all works, but I'm just like, can we go back to chronological order or just like not having like a real algorithm? And it's just like whoever you're following, you can see, or like, but I guess I was gonna say, or if like somebody that's like somebody that you're following, they might pop up, but then I guess that's part of the algorithm. So I don't know how to, I guess it's like there has to be some, I guess there does have to be some sort of algorithm to find new people to follow, but is there, or could you have both? Could you have a tab that's a chronological order, and then could you have a tab that's just for followers or potential follows, people that
Yeah,
are
that's sort of, isn't that what Instagram did? They gave you an option to choose how
yeah.
your layout shows up. So if it's the same, if it's connected to Instagram, maybe they would do it that way.
Well, they said they haven't. They're in the works of putting that together. So I don't know exactly how they're gonna end up doing it.
Hmm.
But I'm just like, well, no one knows I'm here, so I'm just gonna start saying random shit. And all of a sudden I see people following from the random shit, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how this is all working, but
Yeah.
whatever. So that's that's all I got. So yeah, I'm on Threads. You should get on Threads. I don't know how to get our other account on Threads because it only allowed me to get Journey through HD.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not fully sold on it yet. I don't know.
I think you should do it. It's very simple. Like you literally can just whatever comes to your mind, just type it out and just hit send. There's no editing, so just make sure you read that again before you send it.
You know me and my editing skills, it's really great. So everything would be have typos.
Well, mine too. I was like, I saw that they're like, there's no edit button. So I was like, okay, so let me read this one more time. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also because it's like Twitter like, you can only say like, I think like 120 words or something. It's like half the size of a post or a quarter of a post for
Yeah.
Instagram is what you can put on.
Yeah.
Which I like even better. I'm like, I'll just say, everybody just fuck off. And that's my post for the day. So
Mm.
I can I can still laugh in traumatic times. I have to like every like I it's so weird when you're going through some dark shit and you watch yourself consistently transfer and transfer true. It's just bad. It's just like a ping pong ball. Like I had a few sessions over the weekend. Thankfully, some people were able to move some stuff around because my mom was still in town. And so I did do a few sessions and these people were people that I had never met before. So they don't know what's going on and I wasn't going to tell them. And so I'm just like, okay, we're just going to go on. And as soon as I got on, like, it's like I was just in desire and I like compartmentalized all the other stuff that was going on. And like, I was able to be myself for an hour.
Yeah.
But it's just when I'm like not in work mode, I'm just like mostly in transference. Like yesterday, I feel like because we just transitioned into what is it, Leo and Mercury. I
Mhm.
was like, well, I guess I do have a few things to say. But last week, I had nothing to say.
Yeah.
Anybody, like not even to myself. It was just like I don't have anything to say. It was complete transferred innocence. And now I feel like my my body's like, well, I think we could try some things again. But that's also the theme of the current program that we're in with
Yeah. I mean,
starting
it's
over.
exactly. It's like part of the what you're feeling. It's the collective too. So it's
Well, yeah, I have a reflector body. So like I feel like I've been feeling the nodes that we're actually going to talk about on here soon, guys. The nodes changing into the next axis for the last month. And it actually brought up a lot of relationship stuff, which is going to be the theme for the next 18 months, the relationship to self and the relationship to the other with the uh, Aries Libra access that we're switching to. And so, like I had a few bonds that I had to break, and another one that I broke where I wasn't sure if I should break it. And then I'll tell you a story after this. There was confirmation. Something happened last week. I didn't get to tell you that it was like, oh yeah, you did the right thing. Like it's so hard following your authority sometimes when, especially when it comes to relationships, because a lot of times, especially as a third line for myself, like bonds just really have to break, and like the contract is done. Like I realized all the reasons why I had to meet this particular person that I'll tell you about afterwards, and that what happened and transpired through the whole thing, and like that now it's like they just came to show me this one thing, which often I think happens with third lines. Like you have this one specific contract that you have with this individual. And then once the contract is complete, the bond will have to break. Like, even if nothing in particular directly happened, the bond has to break. And so my mind kept telling me, and also with the other relationship that I kind of talked about on here not too long ago, that I had to break that bond to, which that person also contacted me again, by the way. So it's been a fun time. But it's like my mind tells me, and this is why I've stayed in bonds that were already broken, but I stayed in the relationship longer than it was already dead. You know what I mean? But my mind tells me, but they're a nice person. They're a nice person. They didn't do anything like really wrong. And I'm just like, but it's not right anymore. Like I can feel it, a visceral feeling in my body. Like this is not correct anymore, and it's a disservice to myself and to the other to stay in this bond. So, so yeah, and I think it's almost like this new nodal access is going to be very third line ish. And as I said, and I'll repeat myself towards the end, whoever's standing with you at the end of this 18 months are your people. Like those are your ride or dies. Whoever's standing next to you at the end of this 18 months. So if you've had bonds already start breaking, had relationships that have to fall away, feeling like, oh, that like there's no reciprocity in these relationships that I'm holding on to, this is your time. As hard as it is, and trust me, it doesn't matter how hard it is for me. Like it's just as hard it is for me to tell you guys that it's something that it's going to be required of us to do. It's never easy. It's never easy to say goodbye. Even if a lot of times people do horrible things to you, there's still that like little part of you that's like, but I still love them.
Yeah, because you still want it to be okay, or there's that history or whatever it is
Yeah,
that's
whatever it is.
attachment. Yeah, I know someone who just quit their job, who was,
At the bond.
yep, they were working somewhere, they brought in a new like manager kind of position, someone who was really great at that position, and then there was some other workplace stuff that went on, and they were like, well, this is my last day, bye.
Wow. Yeah. That it's gonna be stuff like that. I mean, it's also whatever relationship means and also means to you will break if there's not a proper foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I said I don't know what's going on with anything with myself right now, or like, and I've asked even with this, and we've had this conversation, I'll be honest on here, like, is this it for us? Like is like the podcast, the Human Design and Astro Club, all of it. But every time I ask my sacral, like, should I just fucking burn it all down? Sacral says no. Like we're gonna be tested a lot right now, especially also with the channel of mutation. It's like, and like we're like we don't have a lot of really shiny, beautiful rainbow type aspects right now. Like there's not a lot of that. And so, and as I said, to even in the cosmic community, like if and thank you guys for the ones that have reached out to support me with that. I do really appreciate it. As I said to them, like, if I didn't have this information, like what was actually happening in the collective right now, like we're all experiencing it, whether we like it or not. There's no running from the transits. I've talked about this.
Mhm.
If I didn't have this information at my disposal, I would be going insane. And part of me is like, I kind of also have to let the part of me that wants to scream and cry, like, let her do that. But I can also still function because I know that what is being required of me right now is to surrender.
Right.
And like I asked myself, like, why am I even doing this? Why am I sharing this? Why am I on here? Why am I like doing all these readings? Like, why did I go on Instagram for human design and all this stuff? And the reason that came to me was because human design saved my life. It like legit saved my life. Like I was doing things out of alignment for myself, putting myself in situations that weren't correct. I've had a lot of shitty things happen to me throughout my life. And the one constant that I have is the understanding of who I am at the deepest level, thanks to human design and astrology, and understanding what is actually playing out on a day-to-day basis in the collective with the transits and how they connect to human design and astrology. If it wasn't for this information, I I would not be in the place and the type of life that I have right now. And that's also what I need to like lean into is the gratitude of that I have created such a beautiful life, and a lot of that is thanks to human design.
Exactly.
So as much as I want to be like, where's the fucking match, I'm gonna burn all this shit down. I know that there's people out there that are looking for us right now.
Mhm.
There are people out there that are the past version of me that doesn't want to suffer anymore, doesn't want to go through these dark on like just the unknown. Like the unknown is just so scary. And if you have a little bit of a roadmap, which that's what the transits provide, that's what our human design and astrology charts provide, you can accept and you can create. You can begin to be the co-creator of your experience instead of being the victim.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I resonate with that in my own capacity is like human design gave me a way to see what wasn't working and what to let go of and what lily pad to jump to because I'm a line 4, so I always need what's next, like what's my next lily pad, where does that take me? And like we had that conversation at the very beginning of when we started talking. I was like, but I'm not ready to let this go,
Yeah.
but I know it needs to go. And then the universe and my body was like, it's going. Like you need to start listening now. So yeah, all of the steps that I've taken have been what I've learned through my chart, through human design. And now using the transits is like, now I don't put so much into like overthinking into things when I
Mhm.
know that like there's just in the cosmos there's just crazy shit happening.
Yeah.
So allowing that to happen and not attach to it and not let it take me down.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you can, I'm like screaming at the transits right now. Like I can still, I'm like, why the fuck? Like you just gifted me the last like 6 to 8 months, like really this last year has been full of just like expansion and building and like creating and like a lot of beautiful things have happened. And now I feel like a lot of that has almost been like these are not the right words, but like almost like taken from me or the illusion. Right now I'm in the illusion that things are being taken from me. And that's because I have the 60 and it's my, it's my karmic debt, the 60 for me. It's in my unconscious moon. And so debt needs to be paid right now. Like, even to the point of, if you want, I want to give you guys a really perfect example, like a real life example of what the 360 looks like and how it's personally connecting to me. We went blueberry picking the other day with my mom. It was her last day here. And so I wanted to do something nice. Like as a family, she has the channel and community. And so there's this blueberry patch around the corner from my house where you can just like go and park there and get a bucket, and you just put some money in their insert and just pick their blueberries. And I was like, oh, this seems so fun. I like picking fruit. I don't know why. I have this weird, like, my husband thinks I'm freaking weird that I don't know. I think that's also like a basic bitch thing. We just like doing that stuff. And so I pull, I'm pulling in, okay? There's no other way to get around the blueberry patch. And I see that there's a little bit of a dip in like the field to get over to the blueberry patch, but all of the grass was really high up in there. So I didn't see how far that dip was, okay? So I'm driving into it. My car falls into the ditch. I'm in a ditch now, like literally roadblock 360. I'm in the fucking ditch. Okay. Like there's no way to get around it. I'm literally trapped. Like the road, I'm like, I start panicking, but my route also, because it's been, I've deconditioned so much of it. I hear my mind starts panicking and I say, no, 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 no. I was like, it's okay. I keep telling myself in my head, it's okay. It's okay. Kids are freaking out in the back seat. Okay, we're in the ditch. Okay, I'm like, let me see if I can slightly drive through. Nope. I was like, I knew not to keep going. I said, don't you drive through that. You're not going to get through this. Okay. And so my mom, okay, she's in the car. This is an emotional manifesting generator. Okay, she's need motivation. She doesn't flinch. She also has the channel of struggle. So she's equipped. She's equipped for what just happened to us. I'm like, okay, what do I do here? I'm like I'm a peer generator, right? So I'm like, okay, what's the next step? My mom jumps out of the car. She doesn't even say anything other than she says, hit reverse. That's all she says to me. And I'm like, what? And all of a sudden, my 72-year-old mother is in the ditch. She's pushing the car out of the ditch. I don't even know how she's doing this right now. I'm flooring the gas in reverse to get the car out. She's pushing it out. I'm flooring it. She pushes it out. I was like, what the fuck just happened? It was all like within 30-second span. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to call AAA. I have to call Dave. Now we're on another emotional wave because we create the channel of intimacy together. I was like, he's going to be so pissed. He's going to have to walk down here to get this car out. And so, yeah, that is literally the channel of mutation at its finest. Like literally, I got stuck in a fucking ditch. I'm pretty sure it was also a third line day. And my 72-year-old manifesting generator mother with need motivation, she just like jumped. Like there was no, like she didn't even try to figure out what's a better way to do this. She skipped all the steps, jumped out of the fucking car, and just pushed it out of the ditch. And it gave me just like hope for a lot of other things right now. Like, well, I like, but she's equipped to struggle.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So a lot of people, so anybody that has the channel of struggle or has the 28 or 38, Leah and I both have the 28, we're not really equipped to struggle. We face a lot of things. I think when you have one or the other, you're going to face a lot of things and you're going to have to ask yourself, is this worth the struggle?
Mm-hmm.
If you have the full channel, you are equipped to work through it. And so anybody that has the channel of struggle, because I've read for so many of you guys, and you all say to me, oh shit, that sounds awful, channel of struggle. So I'm just supposed to struggle forever? No. It's that you are equipped to get through the hard times. Something gets thrown at you, you'll be able to face it. You are a fighter. You understand what's the purpose. You understand what the point of all of this is. All I ever ask is, what's the purpose of all of this with having just the 28? And so I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of hope that, yes, you are going to get stuck in a fucking ditch for the next couple of months till the end of August, I believe, is when we'll finally be out of the channel of mutation. We'll talk about that more then. But it's all happening for a purpose right now. That's all I know. And because I know what the transits are doing to all of us collectively and also to me personally, as much as I want to fucking punch them in the face, I know that all I can do right now is accept.
Yeah.
Well, that's a story.
That's a story.
And I did do damage to my car, just so everybody knows. So that was the debt I now have to pay a debt. Luckily, I went yesterday to take the car in, and it sounds like working out some sort of deal. It's not going to be that much, but it's still a good chunk of change. I'll just say that it's a good chunk of change. Wasn't looking to spend it on that, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
So,
she's like a superwoman. You push
oh
you
my
guys
God, her face turned red. I was like, this is not a good idea. As this is happening, I'm saying this is not a good idea with everything going on, but she didn't care. Like, that's my mom though. Like, she is literally like the best person in the world. Like, she literally is. And she just faces things like head on. And so I want to cry about it. So I'm going to stop talking about it.
Well, I think my mother-in-law also has a channel of struggle, and we've been struggling through getting this one room where you have scheduled flooring to get put in. And they were supposed to show up yesterday. Nobody showed up. It took me until 3:00 to actually get on the phone with somebody. Wow. From 11 to 3, I went back and forth with this company trying to get someone to call me back and tell me where they are. My mother-in-law shows up and she's like, oh, I came to see your new floors. I'm like, well, that's nice because it's still in the box. And so she was like, oh, well, why don't you call the store? Like, it shouldn't even like took her 2 seconds to be like, well, why don't you do this other thing? Like, something I didn't think about either. Right. And she was like, well, call this. So I call them and they immediately get on the phone with somebody. I was like, okay, so I guess I just needed you to like sit here. She definitely is the one that can like get through. She's also I think she's fear motivation. I don't have her, I'm saying this loosely, she might be fear motivation. I don't have her exact birth time, but she's always the one.
Fear. Like, let's get the information. Yeah. Like, let's get to it.
Do you need to do this? Is this something she's always got questions that I never would have thought of.
Right. Yeah. First, fear people, they ask the right questions and they're digging, right? They're the ones lifting up all the rocks, digging for the answers. First line. Where's the foundation?
And I'll tell her what the answer is. And she's like, oh, I forgot I even asked you that question.
Yeah. It's innate.
Hi there. We wanted to share with you more ways to connect with us and our free and paid resources and offers that will help you elevate your life and begin to tap into your fullest potential to live out your dreams. First up, we have created a free tips and tricks to understanding your strategy and authority and a free crash course on the transits that you can find in our beginner's path on our website in the show notes down below. And if you're ready to get a deeper understanding of the human design language and how to apply this to your very own chart, check out our user manual to your true self. And if you've been studying human design for a while and ready to lift up the hood of your vehicle and take a peek inside to better understand your process, we have created a mini variables class on the 4 radical transformations. Now, we do not have view or motivation available to purchase, but we have recently developed a kick-ass variable intensive called the Color Code Variable Intensive. That is a 5-week journey through the Radical 4 transformations. And because our last round went so well that I can't even put into words, I can't even describe, but we are doing it again this fall. So please make sure you are subscribed to our email list because early bird enrollment is about to be made available. And lastly, if you are interested in one-on-ones with me, Krystle, then check out my readings on our website down below to snag one of my reading spots, or email us the word waitlist to be added to the next available openings as I get booked up very quickly. And everything else that you might be interested in, you can find on our website, humandesignastro.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for some prime education. Now let's go listen to the rest of this captivating episode.
So let's dive in. So I do want to preface, I decided because I wanted to show up for you guys. So I said to myself, well, how can I show up correct for me? And so that means I'm not doing a full week of transits for of an energy update for this week. I know that we skipped last week as well. I apologize again that we're not giving you everything that we usually give you guys. I just can't. That's that's all I can say is I just can't right now. I don't have it in me, and I don't want to just give you guys just to give you guys, if that makes sense. But the most important parts of the month are usually the new moons and full moons. And actually the nodes are changing. They happen to be changing on the day of the new moon this is going to be put out on Monday. And so because of that, we're just going to be giving you guys just what's going on for new moon Cancer, and then also about the nodal axis being switched on this day. No coincidence at all that this is happening. So we are going to be discussing, the week of the 17th, right? Yeah, the week of the 17th, or the day, more specifically, Monday the 17th, because that's all we're going to be talking about today. So let's discuss. So I am going to tell you about the program of this day first so that you can get a full understanding of how this is all playing out. So the program on Monday the 17th is a focus on precision and the way we will be expressing our mental patterns on this day. What are your thoughts and how are they being organized on Monday? This is the end of our current program, okay? We'll be in a 5th line for this day, and maybe a day to figure out what needs fixing or adjusting. And with this energy, this will also be the activation for the new moon, but we'll get into that in just a moment. So, what are we being grounded in? What is going to support us on this day? What is going to help, like, almost hold the pose for us? It's going to be our inner truth. So what is inspiring you in this moment? And really use that to help you with your intentions for the new moon. What new thoughts are coming to the forefront right now? This is going to be a time to reimagine the life that you wish to live. This is really, like, this last week, just so you guys know, it was all about starting over, new beginnings, our ambitions, like what are we really passionate about? We're really in a state of starting over, which was so beautiful that we had that program come in the week before the new moon, so that now it's like, okay, let me reimagine. Let me put all these thoughts, these patterns, and be able to express them out. So that's the energy of this day. So let's talk about the new moon. So new moon Cancer. Cancer is a cardinal water sign. And hence all the emotions we've just been talking about. And it's been I don't know about you guys, but Cancer season has been an emotional time for myself personally, so maybe for you too. So Cancer is a cardinal water sign and symbolizes the crab. Also, hence my little internal shell right now. New moons are all about fresh starts and new beginnings. They're almost like hitting that restart button. Anytime you want to, begin again, do it during a new moon. Really like get grounded in what you want to create for the next 6 months. So that's what this is all going to be about. How do you want to take action for the next 6 months? This is all going to be a contemplation of your future, okay, with your inner life, all connected to your roots. Cancer is connected to our roots, your closest familial relationships, also setting us up for the new nodal access on this day too. It's all connected and all coming together. So like thinking about and contemplating on your internal home, your physical body, okay, internally what's going on, and also your environment. This is all going to be connected to this new moon, okay? So also, are there any emotional bags? This might be a contemplation question for you for this new moon. Are there any emotional bags that are getting too heavy that you don't want to take with you into this next life chapter? What are those emotional bags? What action can you take right now to release them? You're also going to feel that heaviness also with the new nodal access being shifted as well. And so the activation for this new moon, as we just discussed, but let's go a little deeper with the focus of this new moon. It wants you to organize your thoughts and also vocalize them. This particular activation is connected to the throat, okay? So Cancer isn't, and I have a Cancer sun. My manifestor is a Cancer sun. And Cancers, they're not the biggest on expressing themselves. Okay, there's a lot internally. They represent the crowd. There's a lot internally happening, but they're not the biggest on sharing that. But this new moon is asking you to share. Okay, so sometimes the hard things that need to be said can stay trapped inside our little crab shell. But what ideas are coming to you right now? Can you visualize them? Hold that pose with the earth. Can you visualize your future and then what you want it to be and speak it out? This is going to be a new moon to be looking in the mirror and saying, I want to see blank and blank happen for the next 6 months. Really focusing on what you want your future to look like and saying it, sharing it, share it with a friend. We'll do this during our new moon circle in the cosmic community, something that we always do, but I would love for you guys to not only be sharing it with us, but as you're sharing it, say it out loud, put it in to the ethers, like tell the universe exactly what you want during this new moon. So if you want to go a little deeper, because I always like to, okay, my conscious Mercury is in gate 9, so I always like to give a little bit more detail. So if you want to go deeper and see your personal storyline, then I highly suggest looking to see where this new moon is falling in your chart. Pull up a transit chart, okay? So what house is this new moon happening in? And are there any other planets hanging out in that house, okay? Do you have Cancer or Capricorn? Okay, because the opposite end of Cancer is Capricorn, okay? Do you have Cancer or Capricorn in any of your big 3? For example, I am Capricorn rising. So you might have a little bit more of an impact if you have these placements in your personal chart. You might be feeling this new moon a little bit more than somebody else that doesn't have a Cancer or Capricorn in a higher placement, okay? Or go look to see, where do you have Cancer and Capricorn in your chart, okay? So all of what we are talking about on this program is more of a collective energy and definitely how you fall into it. But if you want your direct storyline, okay, you want to directly know how this is impacting you personally, then I highly suggest pulling up a transit chart so you can see where this moon's falling in what house. And you can Google a transit chart if you would like, or you can use astro.com and just make sure you're looking at the transits. You'll see usually your natal chart in congruence to the transit chart. It'll show you kind of the full wheel of both transit and natal. That's how it works. And if you don't understand how to read it, YouTube, Google can help you with that. Obviously, use discretion. We're not doing that here on this episode, but really if you want to get it real basic with it, just look to see where is the moon in your houses. Just be very basic. Where is the moon in your houses? So you can also, if you want to be a little bit more specific, you can use your personality moon in your human design chart. Use your personality moon and what that gate is, what's it in, and also add that to your storyline. And also your natal moon in astrology. Example, my natal moon is Aries. So I always feel like during these new moons that I really want to really instill in my intentions action, because Aries is an action-oriented sign, right? So you doing things like that is really going to personalize these potentials for yourself, okay? Everything is layers. The more you pull things apart and then put them back together, the more your life will make sense. And seeing these aspects will allow you to surrender, as we were just talking about, to your process more, which will then allow the magic of what you are here to play out unfold. You cannot receive anything with a closed fist. And so often we are so concerned or scared or in fear or lack mentality, and we clench all of these potentials instead of being like, oh, that's what's actually happening. It allows you to open up a little bit more. And it's when you almost like give it away, it gives you an opportunity for it to come back to you. This is what Kabbalah has taught me. So I'm in a place of deep surrender right now. Whatever is supposed to happen I will instill some action-oriented intentions into it for the new moon, but I also know whatever's supposed to happen will. And that just is. So this is happening on the same day the nodes switch axis that I was just talking about. And it's no coincidence with both Libra and Aries, also cardinal signs, as we just discussed that Cancer is a cardinal water sign. So we have cardinal air now impacting and cardinal fire. So we have air, fire, and water all coming together on this day. So these are cardinal signs that will be asked on this day. This is a question to ask yourself with the new nodes. What ways do we want to begin restructuring our relationships? What ways do we want to be nurtured and cared for? If there's one takeaway to remember about the nodal shift, this is it. We are moving away from people pleasing, and we will be taking back our fucking power. That's what this is all about. If you don't need to watch a million, like people like, I have to know all the stuff that's happening with the nodes. No. What ways are you people pleasing in your relationships? And what ways can you take back your fucking power? That's all you need to ask yourself. Okay. So this will be the next 18 months of shedding relationships that are no longer serving you. Where did I lost my place? Oh, serving you. And as I talked about with the cosmic community, I will also say it on here. Whoever is standing beside you after these next 18 months are your fucking people, as I just said earlier too. And listen, if you are in the end of all of this, at the end of the 18 months, you're standing alone, know that it's actually your biggest opportunity to finally find your people. Don't look at it as a defeat or that you are a loser, because I say that to myself a lot with being a third line and having to break bonds. It's actually an opportunity. So the North Node will be moving into Aries, and the South Node will be moving into Libra. So what relationships need to fall away? And what ways can you be more in your power, in your true self? Aries is going to be asking you. And so that's all I got.
Well, the cards pretty much confirm all those things per usual. So for this moon, I picked what did I get? I got the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups represents enjoying your life and all of the abundance that's around you. You can notice on the card how this guy is kind of sitting. He's not really like smug, but he's very happy and feels accomplished. He's got all of his cups up on the table there, like trophies, or like he's just showing what he's got for everyone to see, what he's been working on, and recognizing himself. He's like proud of himself for all the work that he's done. So whether this is actual work that you feel accomplished with, whether it's you've gone through some hard situations and you're seeing kind of like the spiritual work or like the emotional work, the work that you've done for yourself right now, and how you can recognize yourself for making it through all the ups and downs. And 9 is like nearing the end of this chapter, nearing the end. 10 is the end of the beginning and the end of like a cycle. So you're getting to the end, you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, you're finding some clarity. The Nine of Cups is also a wish card. And so it has the energy of like initiation or potential. So it can show you that like what steps you need to take to create your desires, or what you need to do to go out there and make things happen, or meet new people and upgrading in this life. And then in my book, because you just said this at the end, it says breathe and feel. If you're alone, enjoy your solitude. If you are together with others, enjoy their presence. And if you have a job to do it in silent devotion. And the affirmation says, happiness is my natural condition, which I thought was really powerful and kind of goes along with everything you were saying. So then the affirmation card, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, I think everybody needs to like write that down for the next 18 months and like say it every single day. Like, happiness is my natural condition. Like, if your relationships, your job, you were just talking about, because that's also a relationship, your partnerships, whatever that is, it's not fulfilling you, it's not bringing you joy in some sort of way, it's not feeling successful as a projector, you're not feeling surprise and delight on a daily basis as a reflector, or you're not feeling peace as a manifester and fulfillment and satisfaction as a generator, then what's the fucking point?
Yep.
It's it's not that necessarily that the entire thing needs to fall away. Like, are there things within these potential aspects, relationships, partnerships, business, whatever, that are not working, that you're still, for whatever reason, holding on to because you think you should? The mind says you've got to stay doing that. No. Like, maybe start with burning certain things down and then say, and do I need to add anything in or just take it away? And then check the foundation. Then you're like, okay, hold on, let me check the foundation. If the foundation is then secure, then you made the right choice. If it's not, then maybe then burn it all down. But also, if you're a manifester or a manifesting generator, you might just burn it down because you don't really take the necessary steps. But I would say just don't do anything rash during this period of time, even though it might feel like you want to. I know for myself personally, I'm also in an emotional transit on top of all of this stuff that I won't be leaving until, I think I'm almost out at this point, actually. But I know that this is not a time to be like, oh, we're just going to like rip the entire Band-Aid off, because again, there's a lot of illusion happening here and delusion, and there's no clarity. So I'm not going to do that. So just some potential advice if you need it. Take it for whatever it is. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so then on that note, I pulled Align Your Life. Which, I mean, you see on this card, like if you're on YouTube, the mirror is broken. Things are shattering, things are moving away, the pieces are coming out that don't, there's two mouths or two noses. And like, what is it? what is it that needs to go that's not working for you anymore? So let me read from the book here. What in your life is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? We are cyclic beings in a constant state of change, of evolution, of growth, and change is one of the only certainties of life. When you resist your cyclic nature, you resist life and feel stuck. Many of us have learned to be who the world wants us to be, but there comes a time when it is harder to hold on to this facade than it is to embrace who we truly are, to surrender to how we have changed and align to a life of that way of being. If you pull this card, you are being called to let go of who you once were or the things that you once defined yourself by the job, the relationship, the mask you wore, and to embrace who you truly are now, to courageously step into the person that you came here to be in full authenticity, to embrace your weirdness and your uniqueness. And perhaps you have outgrown some relationships or circumstances, and it is time to reassess and bring all the parts of your life into alignment so that they are congruent with who you truly are today. I got nothing else to say about that.
Yeah, that's like exact. And I wrote something yesterday actually on Threads that's very similar to this that I want to read for everybody. I said, the only thing that endures is change. When change stops, death comes. We keep mutating. When you come to yourself and you live out yourself, the work that you do for the totality is clean. And you get back a clean mirror for yourself, because everything is a mirror. Everything is a reflection of your internal world. So you get to see what everybody wants to see. You get to see your purpose unfold. So that's what we're going through right now. A deep change, collectively and personally. We're all in the channel of mutation right now, whether we like it or not. And that's one thing that Kabbalah taught me, and that why like they literally put me in like every potential role at that place, because they said that, you know, you need to have change, you need to have challenge in your life to grow. And you can get stuck in complacency with doing the same thing over and over, which as a generator, I kind of love to do. But I also know that it's not serving me. And sometimes certain aspects reach the mastery stage where then it's time to move on to the next thing. And so the only thing that we can endure right now is change. And change is coming for all of us. So
just hang on.
Yeah, just keep going. Whatever, even if you don't know where you're going, just go.
It's okay.
Just whatever you do, just don't stop trying for yourself, not for anybody else or for anything. And even sometimes trying is ending. See what needs to end that can begin again. Mm-hmm. So we thank you so much for being here. And sorry that, you know, we didn't do our regularly scheduled program. And we don't know what's going to happen next, but we know that we wanted to come on here and share this with you. So I guess we'll see you.
Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of our podcast on the Human Design and Astro Club. We hope you have found the information insightful and useful. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review and sharing it with your friends and family. We love to hear from our listeners, so feel free to reach out to us with any feedback, questions, or suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.